sync up the audio first, or you want to start the
Hey, all you
live?
people.
Oh,
Hey,
we're
all you
live.
people. Hey, all you people, won't you listen to me? Um, yeah, let's
Isn't that
sync
Disney?
up. What did you say?
I said, isn't that Disney?
No, that's SpongeBob SquarePants when the dude swings about the Krabby Patty that he just had with jellyfish jelly on it. I just had a sandwich, no ordinary sandwich, a sandwich that was filled
Yeah.
with jellyfish jelly. That one.
The fact that just came to you,
It's my
it's
mind,
crazy.
man. It's my mind. My mind's doing wondrous things tonight.
Oh goodness, I gotta buckle up for this.
Let's clap and then let's get this crazy show
Let's
on
get
the
on the hype
road.
train. All right, do it. Clap us in.
3, 2, 1. Holy crap! Sony at E3 knocked it out of the park. This is Millennial Gaming Speak. I'm Logan. Max is here. What did we just witness? Oh my gosh, is this the best E3 conference that's ever happened? Probably. Spider-Man, Resident Evil, God of War. What is going on? Yeah, Max, there's a Spider-Man game. And
I
there's
know
a
there's a
Batman
Spider-Man.
game. And there's a
Uh-huh.
X-Wing game. And
I was there for it. I watched it all on the
what?
big screen. We both did.
Ah.
It's all real. It will come to you one day.
So remember like 8 hours ago when Microsoft knocked it out of the frickin' park? And
Microsoft did. They had an excellent
they
conference.
had an excellent day. And
then Ubisoft dragged their nails across the chalkboard for.
I didn't think Ubisoft was awful, but boy, it sure went on for a while.
That's what I meant by
Yeah.
just dragged.
Yeah. Yeah, I was done by like that last 30 minutes.
Only thing I liked from that was South Park.
I
That was the only game I cared
may
about.
download Blood Dragon tonight. I'm thinking about it.
$15. I'm not a Trials person, but I did like. I mean, I liked it.
I like
that
the
looked cool.
concept. So let's stick with Sony though. Welcome to Millennial Gaming Speak. Welcome to our very special E3 breakdown of Sony's press event. My goodness, we saw so many amazing things tonight.
We saw a ton of amazing things.
We sure did.
It was a jam-packed, excellently paced, top-notch show that delivered everything you wanted from the fans. There was no baloney you had to cut through. There was no Activision section where they came out and talked about Call of Duty for 30 minutes. There was no PlayStation View talk. There was no talk about powers. It was very focused. It was very deliberate. It was an excellent, excellent press conference.
Yeah, I hate when I have to cut through that baloney. It's a shame. So, despite all of that thing, all of what Max just said, folks, listeners, my friends, we have a Benedict Arnold among us tonight. Max has some
Arnold. I'm not a
things about this
traitor.
conference.
Whoa. I'm not a traitor.
He's
not
betrayed us.
I'm not betraying enemy secrets, you know.
Shuhei will cast him down into the pits of the Wii U.
No, there's one particular thing about the conference in whole that I think we need to be critical about, and we can't be blinded by the Spider-Man, Star Wars, God of War hype. We can't be blinded by the amazingness they just unleashed on our eyeballs.
I'm fine with going by.
And the problem, it's not even a problem. It's just a stark contrast between them and Microsoft, and it's a very interesting one. And for me, it's both exciting and disappointing. The difference is Microsoft showed us games we are going to be playing within the next year. From now through December, and then December through June, like until next E3, they showed us exactly what we're going to be playing on their Xbox, with a few, with a little bit of hype sprinkled in for even beyond that with Scorpio and things like that.
Beyond.
Sony's press conference showed us. I'm going to look through the list just to make sure I have the correct number. 1
within this year.
No, until next E3. I'll include that because that's what I gave Microsoft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Does Detroit have a release date?
6. Detroit, I believe, was this year. I was counting it.
Okay.
They gave us 6 games
plus
6, 7 games.
50 for the VR before the end of this year.
They said that. They didn't show us that. I'm talking about what they're showing us. Microsoft could have gone up there and said, we have 30 games coming. I'm talking about what they showed. They showed us a lot of things that are promises, things that are coming in the future. Amazing looking promises. And they did that last year, and they did that the year before. Sony, for the past 3 E3s, has not talked about the immediate future. What am I playing on my PS4 this holiday if I'm not a PSVR owner?
That's their thing.
And it's good.
I mean, I'm just being blunt. That is their thing this year. It is The Last Guardian. It is No Man's Sky, and then it is a board. We come aboard as we enter the land of virtual reality. That's what it is this year. So, I mean, I totally get what you're saying, and what you have.
They're just two very different conferences, and they're both really well done. But I don't know how much longer I can just live on the promises of no first-party games in the immediate future. We're not going to see God of War till 2018. We're not seeing God of War till 2018.
I think Days Gone is closer.
Days Gone is 2017. It has to be.
I think it's close. I think that one specifically is much closer than we expect, because we know Bend has been in development on Days Gone forever.
If it's closer than we expected, why didn't they say it? Why didn't they give us a window?
Because you got to remember, and this is the thing I brought up with one of my friends earlier, is that unlike the other companies here at E3, Sony has besides Nintendo, because they can pull a direct out of their butt whenever they want, but Sony is the company that has throughout the year the most opportunity to talk to the consumer, mainly because of PSX at this point. They have an entire show at the end of the year where they have a 6-month gap.
They get E3, PSX.
It goes E3, Paris Games Week / Gamescom, wherever they decide to go, and then PSX. So they get 3 showings within a 6-month span.
They do get that kind of stuff, and
so while I totally do understand what you're saying, and I mean you do have a valid point. I mean they don't have as much coming out as Microsoft. Do I care? No.
And I want to be clear. I'm not bashing the show. I don't. Everything. There are very few things I was disappointed to see in this press conference. This was
Crash in that list, by the way, even though because that's
they just said 2017.
I think it's early. I'm pretty sure it's early next year. I saw a press release about it a minute ago, so I think that should be out before the next E3.
It could be. I did not count that though.
Okay,
no.
I was just curious.
I didn't see this.
Not that I care, because Crash is trash, as I always say. So.
Oh goodness!
Please don't play Crash Bandicoot.
Love me some Crash Bandicoot. But I think that's just like the one thing that we have to be critical about before we jump on this hype train that was this amazing PlayStation press conference. Because God, it feels good to own a PlayStation. It feels so good.
Where do we start?
We start with the beginning, dude.
Where do we start? Let's start with Farpoint
opening.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, let's start with the opening, which involved an epic orchestra and singing dudes.
The last time I remember a live orchestra at E3 was Nintendo with Skyward Sword.
That's my response.
What you're farting on an orchestra for Zelda?
No, I'm farting on Skyward Sword. I always fart when that game's mentioned.
Love it. Anyway, they did. They started with an orchestra, played some God of War-esque music, which turned out to be God of War. And then, I mean, they opened up, and I thought this was a bait and switch, because it shows this kid playing with like toys, and he totally looked like a Horizon character. So
I thought it was Horizon as well.
And then they reveal Kratos, and I lost it.
He has that fuzzy face hair now.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. This game is so pretty.
So Max is the God of War fan among us, and I would not consider myself a God of War fan, but people, brothers, sisters of the PlayStation community, I lost my mind. This was a fantastic showing. The demo was phenomenal. I was hyped to see Kratos, who I think is one of the worst gaming characters.
He's an awful character.
He's a terrible character. But I was so happy to see that loudmouthed, white-skinned, red-tattooed, crazy person. And I don't know why.
You saw the gentle side of the giant.
Yes, and I tweeted about that. I said that So the whole demo focuses around him and this boy, and he was more gentle and calm and patient in this 10-minute span than he was in the other 6 games combined.
It's a very interesting take on him.
So
let's.
I don't even know how to, like, where do we start with this?
Well, let's start with what you think.
Things to talk about.
Let's start with what you think. You think this game is open world RPG God of War?
Now, again, I don't know, not to the extent I think you're. It has RPG elements clearly.
It does. It clearly does.
That's what I meant. It's not a JRPG like the Final Fantasy.
No, yes,
nothing crazy like that.
You're at least gaining knowledge, which I'm interested to see what that has an impact on gameplay besides trophies. Yeah, you get points for knowledge. I'm sure you get points for other things. I wouldn't be surprised to see combat. I wouldn't be surprised to see something involving navigation of the world.
Yeah. There's going to be the scope of the game looks incredible. It did the similar thing that Horizon did a couple years ago, or last year, I guess, when they showed that demo off, and then it ends kind of on a cliff, and you see the entire expanse.
Yeah, it shows a very big area and places you'll go.
And they did the same thing with God of War, and it looks like it is open world in some capacity. Similar to Rise of the Tomb Raider, Max is trying to say he thinks it's more like Uncharted, where it's just very large.
Well, no, Rise of the Tomb Raider or Uncharted, like it's these areas that are big, and then it's still funneling you to the end destination. You can explore these little areas that are big, and you can, find things and do maybe a side quest, or I doubt God of War has a side quest system.
I hope it does.
That sounds so on God of War.
Yeah, which is exactly why I want it, because I don't think the God of War games are very good. I really don't.
God of War 2 is
they're very mindless.
You just stupid pretty.
I mean, they're fine.
Ghost of Sparta is
they're fun, but there's no depth to them. There's nothing.
Oh, there's
nothing to them.
Triangle.
Yep, that's all it is. And so if they do add
fun combat.
It's fine combat. Like I don't know.
I love it.
I feel like I've played better brawlers before, or whatever action games.
So satisfying. It's so grueling and satisfying, and I got that sense when he fought in this trailer. He's got an axe now, some ice axe. That's really cool.
Ice axe. He's got his kid's got a lightning
electric
arrow.
bow.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the game's very pretty. It's a Norse setting, so it's Norse mythology.
They mentioned Valhalla once or twice. I heard that giant troll thing mentioned.
I rewound through that video. I'm bad at hearing, but my understanding was it was all gibberish except when he shouted Valhalla. So he was speaking some trolly language. But
the biggest thing to me was when he walked into that area after you killed the troll, and then the titles appeared up top and said whatever discovered.
Yeah.
Whatever the name of that area was called discovered. Mm-hmm. That's when I was like, oh gosh, is this open world? Is this going to be? And again, similar to Rise of the Tomb Raider, where you can jump around to different points and on the map and then explore around in that area. There's things to do besides obviously just running straight through.
Yeah, I don't think this is an open world game. I don't think I'm going to be able to just go anywhere I want whenever I want. I think this is very much still going to be a point A to point B game, just with lots of little exploration in between point A and point B. The combat looks like God of War. Brutal, disgusting. Interesting. You can control the camera this time,
which is a nice change of pace. It's it's very much more third person rather than a stable cam as the last game.
Yeah, it clearly doesn't hold the camera for you. Multiple times in the demo, he moves the camera around. So I'm all for it. The game looks very good this early. This game is just listed as in development. No window has been given.
I think this is further along than we expect as well, because we've heard. I mean, industry people. I mean, I'm pretty sure Colin has talked about it now since it's been out a little bit more.
Well, no, that big leak of concept art leaked. Concept art can be done. That's pre-production stuff.
But he said he's heard about this for like a year and a half or 2 years now. So
yeah, like the rumor mill's been spinning, but I don't think this game is 2017 at all. If it
I
was
don't
they would have
know if
said so
it's
tonight.
20. I don't know if it's 2017, but
And
I
it's not.
don't think it's like. I don't
They would have
know.
said. They would have.
Again, I
If
feel like
anything,
they've
you know what
got.
it is? If anything, it could be fall 2017, but they're not sure yet. So instead of announcing it
So,
and then
and again,
delaying it,
they've got two other conferences within the next 6 months.
which
So
at
if you want
PSX
to,
is when you're going to see God of War again.
yeah, yeah, we would hope so.
You're, I would think you would see a more. I would think you would see another.
PSX, I've learned they start showing more of their hardcore things then,
God of
which is
War is Kratos is a mascot.
yeah, I understand that,
He's up
but
there with
I
Drake
mean,
and Ratchet.
look at the comparison between PSX and what we saw tonight. I mean, tonight was their big heavy hitters. The biggest thing we saw, like PSX, for instance, was like Nino Kuni 2.
That was
So
the
I mean,
biggest surprise, I think, for the PlayStation community. I mean, Uncharted 4 was still the headline game that year.
yeah, and they showed that off somewhat, I guess. So
We will see God of War again at PSX, but the game, back to the game. There's some element of controlling your rage, which is interesting. I'm curious. I don't know if you noticed this, but when he yells at the boy the first time for shooting at the deer too early,
yeah,
you see in the upper corner where the left corner where the hut is, the rage meter that you see later in the combat fills up slightly when he's yelling at the boy. And I'm curious if that's just a dumb visual thing to show you Kratos is mad, which if you couldn't tell by the shouting, or if that is actually a controlled scale where you can react to something in the narrative a certain way. You can yell at the kid, make him feel like crap, or you can rein it in and be the calm Kratos. Because
maybe you're like the Hulk in this game.
if there was like a narrative thing,
Bruce
then watch
Banner,
the
Bruce
HUD.
Banner, Kratos. Yeah,
Maybe
I mean, it's an interesting. I'd have to rewatch it and look for that thing up in the top corner.
it's
But
when you should rewatch it after the show because it's really nice to watch it in full
a-
screen instead of like 3/4 of a screen.
yeah,
But
and it's a really good demo too. It's just if you
it's got the
haven't
balance
seen
of
it,
exploration. It's got the balance of
check it out.
gameplay.
And it's just nice to see Kratos for some reason, even though he sucks. So
Yeah, it was so satisfying. Very, very strong. All the music in the during the whole press conference was orchestrated live. So that was really nice. God of War came out swinging. I think that's a stronger opening than Gears 4 if we want to draw
I do as well.
comparisons.
Yeah, because I mean, Gears looked like more
Also,
the same.
it was a
looked
live
good.
demo. That was a live demo. That was not
Yeah, they showed
pre-recorded
it.
or
They
anything,
showed it
which
over
is
the
very comforting to see. Sony's really good at live demos,
I think
not
again,
like showing them.
I think again it pushes the notion that I think they may be further ahead than we expect with this, but I could be wrong. Where do we go from here?
We go to the second thing. It's weird. It's like I made this whole list that did the whole press conference in order to guide you so you'd remember what to do.
Okay, so
That's what I'm here for. I organize.
We saw Ben's game finally.
Ben's game's real.
Did you think it wasn't?
They never talked about it. There was like Ben's working on a game, and then they never talked about it. They boom, Bend. Not Dead Don't Ride. That was apparently a code name.
Something like that.
Days Gone. Which I like that name. I think that's a better name for a game.
What do you think in general? What was your initial reaction?
Stoked. Want it.
It looks like The Last of Us.
Oh, it has Last of Us vibes all over it. And you know what it looked like to me, especially with the demo? I thought we'd talk about both of those because they closed the show with a Days Gone demo. It reminded me a lot of what I've played of Dead Rising 3 and The Last of Us. Because these zombies are very fast. There's a lot of them. But the isolation in the environment, very much Last of Us-esque. You're a biker, alone.
Sort of alone. You were alone in the demo, but in the trailer you were riding with somebody else.
Yeah, so I'm interested. I like the idea of a solo, like a lone rider story. I think that's got some Western vibes possibly to it.
The
Not
trailer
that it's
talks
set.
about how he's a bounty hunter or something like that now.
Yeah, so I'm curious if there's a thriving community
Bounty
or
hunter, Prey 2. Woo.
yeah, I was thinking of you when they said bounty hunter. But I'm all for it. I dug the vibe, I dug the tone, I dug the art style. This is a very pretty game.
This one didn't look great on our movie theater screen. So
Really?
it looked
Oh, I
very
thought it looked
it looked very, very dark. Most things looked really bad on our theater screen.
that's a bummer.
I mean, I can rewatch them on
I
the
know.
internet if I need to.
But
But
no,
I get
I
the
thought
gist
it
of
looked
it.
very cool. It seems a little more interactive as far as like environment stuff. Like, he took that oil filter and made a silencer out of it, which would never happen, but I'm all for video games being silly. It looks really cool. And I'm glad they finally got to show their game.
Yeah, it looked interesting. I feel like I've said interesting 5,000 times a day.
You probably have.
Probably. Sorry if I have people who listen to all these shows. Yeah, I liked the Last of Us vibe, and I liked how it felt like it's going to be a very story-centric game. I was expecting something goofier for some reason, something lighter in tone, especially from what we heard with like the leaks from this game. It sounded very much more Mad Max style ridiculousness compared to this obviously very emotional story they're going to try to tell with this game. So I'm interested to see what it is.
I'm all in.
I feel like it's closer than we expect. I really do.
This one I suspect is 2016 fall.
That'd be interesting. I mean, they would
sorry,
announce
2017. I'm sorry, we are in 2016.
Fall 2017.
Oh yeah, no, if it was this year, they would have said so.
I don't think it's this year, but I think it could be maybe by like April or May next year. I could see that.
I can see it being summer, June, July, at the earliest.
Yeah, I don't see this I don't see it getting in the mix with fall. We know this one's been in development for a long time. They haven't done anything since Golden Abyss. So
Golden Abyss. I joked. I said this is a Vita game.
that would have been cool.
That would have been awful.
They didn't say Vita once, which was kind of funny.
The Vita didn't even appear. You didn't even see a Vita. There was no indie showcase. I was surprised at that.
I'm fine with that. What we got?
Geo.
Yeah, there was no Geo, but I mean, again, stuff like that now. The stuff like that gets such a highlight at PSX that I really think.
Yeah, I mean that's the place for Vita, and
I really think PSX has changed how they want to deal with E3 from now on, and I think that's been.
You're probably right.
From the past couple showings they've had, they've come out swinging the past couple years with AAA titles, and they haven't focused on the things that we thought they would. Let's move on to another game that is now officially real, if it wasn't before, because it has a release date after 24 years in development. Last Guardian.
The Last Guardian. They small trailer with October 26th. 25th, I'm sorry.
25th.
October 25th. Cool. That's all I need from that game. I didn't need another demo. Trailer's perfect. They don't have to talk about that game until October.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading something.
No reading. Reading is bad.
I wish it would have been earlier. Because like I told you, now we've got an official date for PSVR. May as well include this as well. If PSVR comes out the 13th of October.
Which is sooner than I expected.
Yeah.
I expected end of October, like the last possible day of October.
Yeah. So it's coming out now. That's got a date as well. I'm getting excited for that. I wish Last Guardian came out sooner because I want this game to do well. I want this game to get its moment in the sun after being in development for so long. And
October 13th is a Thursday. That's weird.
That is interesting. It's releasing now alongside Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 off the top of my head, is along with what's the other one that's coming in October? I'm trying to think. I don't know. It's just releasing. Bottom line, it's releasing in a very, very, very packed part of this fall's lineup, and I wish they could have pushed it to maybe September or something like that, where
This
it could have
is
got
their big
echo.
fall game.
It's true. Gears of War as well is the other one I was thinking of. I know it's their big fall game, but that doesn't mean you have to go toe to toe with everything else. September's still fall, so
It's a very early fall, but this game.
and as the consumer, I want this to be the one game in my mind when I'm playing it. So
Really?
I don't want to feel
not
like I'm
interested
being
in this game at all.
have you played Shadow of the Colossus?
I don't know. I did 3 or 4 of the Colossi. Like I played.
Did you play Ico?
No, didn't touch that game.
That's
Never
why
did.
you aren't interested then. Those are both phenomenal games.
The Colin Moriarty does not think so. Shadow of the Colossus is not.
Shadow of the
memorable to
Colossus
me.
is one of the best PS2 games by a flipping mile. It's
it didn't leave an imprint on me. I like the idea of it, like just doing big boss fights. I think that's very.
The traversal and the boss fights is phenomenal, and the storytelling is also excellent.
I remember it being tedious and the controls being cumbersome.
The controls were cumbersome for the time.
Cumbersome today too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people look back with rose tinted glasses a little bit on those games. I'm not interested in this game because I don't know why I should be playing this. What is interesting about the boy and Bird Dog? Why should I be invested in this?
Because you're gonna cry. They're masters of storytelling. They really are. They're phenomenal at storytelling. These games they always create great puzzle games as well. That's what was cool about Shadow of the Colossus. It was like, how many boss fights were in it? Like 15? It was like 15. It was like 15 bosses.
I thought it was halfway. How many? No. Now I'm gonna Google it. I thought I was halfway.
No, you.
If I wasn't halfway, then that's even worse.
For sure double digits. 100% positive.
To the Googles. How many? Is it Colossi?
I don't know.
All right. Continue.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious. I will 100% wait for reviews of this game. If the reviews come out and it's smashing, I will try it out. I'll pick it up. Kind of like BioShock Infinite.
You don't like it either way. Oh, that's gonna be my bold prediction for the year.
25%.
How many are there?
16. So I was 25%.
I thought there was about 15 or 16.
You're saying I don't like it even if all the reviews are super positive?
Nope. I don't think so.
Why? Because I don't like puzzle games and stories?
Because I just don't. You know how you're always like, that's just not my game. I think this is one of those.
I love puzzle games and I love stories. That stuff's my kind of game. But I haven't seen anything that's indicative of that.
Yeah, I don't know if you haven't been interested so far, then I'd say you probably aren't interested. Yeah,
we'll
I don't know.
We'll wait for reviews.
It looks charming. I probably will snag
Bird Dog's cute.
Day one, just because I got to see this through. I've been waiting for this game forever. I really enjoy Shadow of the Colossus and Ico. I've got to see what happens here with this. But again, I wish it was releasing some other time and not in the middle of.
We'll see how
every other thing.
But I mean, it is way different than all the other shooters.
I know, but still, it's just. I don't know. It's just right there in the middle. And I feel like I don't want them to put it out to die. I would like
maybe that's what they're doing. They did that on purpose. Please, forget we ever cared about this game.
I hope not. I don't know. Let's move on to that awesome Horizon demo that we saw. That was probably the best
doctor
of probably the best demo of the show so far. I'd say. That was really that. If you didn't know what that game was like before, and you didn't feel like they had showcased it well enough before, now they have. It looks amazing. I'm really ready to play this game.
That game, besides some technical things aside, and with some design decisions, looks super cool. It's like this open, very.
What do you mean by design decisions?
I thought she talked way too much. I thought the dialogue was very poorly written, both for her and the other characters. She just like didn't shut up, and I was like, I don't want to hear you talk.
There was like a 20-second
No, she just kept talking though, like through the demo. She'd roll and go, I gotta hit him in the weak spot. Here's a shadow stun bomb. Like, she just talked too much. And I hope that's just an E3 demo thing. They just filled that with chatter. But I don't want to hear her just talking to herself while I'm like scavenging things. That just seems very like annoying. Like that Sea of Thieves thing where the YouTubers just kept talking and I didn't care. That's kind of the same vibe. Not that that's a major thing. It just kind of was. I thought it was dumb. I'm so negative.
You are very, very, very negative today.
I'm sorry, but it was annoying. But you're like rolling around and stuff, and it's not cover based. The monsters look cool. I'm a huge fan of robot dinosaurs. Been saying that on this show before. Dude, I totally am on board with this game. I hope. The delay after seeing this demo, if that delay is to smooth out some of the technical issues, I'm totally all for it. This game looks very, very big.
Yeah, it looks like a mix of Far Cry and what was the other one I was thinking of? Shoot.
I don't know.
I forget. It looks like Far Cry though, honestly, third-person Far Cry, in a bunch of ways. And yeah, I'm really excited to get my hands on this. This is probably one of my more favored exclusives at this point.
She could be the next mascot. She could be the first new mascot for the PlayStation brand.
That's a Bloodborne dude. He killed all them werewolves, and now he's the mascot of the company.
No, you don't.
You don't kill that many werewolves and not become the mascot of.
I don't know. I don't think he slapped generic Bloodborne guy up there with Kratos and Drake and Ratchet and.
So I'm curious to hear what you think about the next game. So we saw Detroit afterwards. We saw a new trailer for that had some gameplay elements to it. Looks like it's going to be similar to Heavy Rain, where it's going to be a multi-protagonist type thing, which is really interesting to me. And I'm really digging that because I didn't like Beyond Two Souls with just focusing on Jody's character. I'm cautiously optimistic for this game at this point. I thought that it showed incredibly well in the trailer today. I love Heavy Rain. It's one of my favorite PS3 games, but man, I just did not like Beyond Two Souls whatsoever. I thought it was slow. I thought it was disjointed and just not written very well. And so I have a lot more hope for this one. I think it looks way more interesting. And yeah.
Never played Beyond Two Souls.
Don't
go, Ellen Page. Heavy Rain, great game, loved it. The reason I was wigging out, if you were watching this on the video feed, you were like, looks like it's multiple protagonists, so I'm all on board for that. And then yesterday you're like, I don't like multiple protagonists in Telltale games.
I'm getting burnt with it in Telltale games. I'm getting burnt.
They just introduced it.
Whatever. I didn't care for it in Tales.
Okay,
this is what I'll say about that. I don't want to see it in every game going forward. If that becomes like a staple of a
Telltale thing,
yeah,
okay,
then I'm gonna get burnt with that.
But I think that I like that mechanic in those games. Anyway, back to Detroit. It was weird not seeing the protagonist on the box. Some weird robot dude.
I like that. I like that we didn't see Kara, but we instead saw Connor.
It was jarring. Like, I expected to see her. I'm fine.
I did as well.
But they told you later, like, it's a multiple protagonist thing, which is fine. It just was. I wish I'd known that up front. I like the investigation kind of thing, which reminded me of Heavy Rain when you played as the detective. So that could be really interesting. I think the more important announcement that came from Detroit is it is a full VR experience.
It is? I didn't hear that at all.
They put that at the end of the trailer. Detroit is totally VR.
I must have missed that.
So that is what's mind-boggling.
That's a big thing, then. That's cool. That'll give me something else to play on my VR.
I'm really interested in this game. I love narrative story, like choice based kind of games. Loved Heavy Rain. I never played Beyond Two Souls. I played the demo of that game and wasn't too into it. And reviews came out and kind of turned me away. Although Kevin loves Beyond Two Souls, so
Kevin, what is wrong with you?
But it's I'm interested. I'm interested in this game. I'm curious how it proceeds.
Like I said, cautiously optimistic at this point. That's about the best I can say. So,
all right, the next one.
The next part.
Can I introduce the next one?
No. Let me take this over.
I have a story.
I've been waiting patiently.
But I have a story about this. I called it.
What's your story?
I called it. I text you during it, said what it was.
What's your story?
Like, meh. And I
don't think I said meh.
No, you didn't say verbatim meh. You were like, you sent something that questioned it.
No, because you did say it. And when you said it, it clicked in my mind that this could be Resident Evil. And I was like, well, they said it's the kitchen game, though. And I was like, well, that kitchen game was just a tech demo. Yeah, no one ever really knew anything about it. So, like, when you
skeptical,
said it, I wasn't skeptical at all.
That's a skeptical. I called it. And I've never played a Resident Evil game.
Oh, as soon as you said it, I remembered it. And I was like, well.
Resident Evil 7. Surprised to see it at Sony. Thought it was going to be an Xbox. Full VR supported, which VR and horror go hand in hand. I'm all about it. Actually, let's see if that demo's up yet.
No, it's not. I just
but I mean, mentioning the demo though,
I'm not playing it.
Well, yes, you're not playing it because you're weird.
I'm not playing it. I'm holding out for VR. I've waited. So I love Resident Evil. I freaking love Resident Evil, and it lost its way. And I haven't played 6. I refuse to play 6 because that's not what I want from the franchise.
Some fan you are, ride or die.
I've played like 9 Resident Evil games, I think. So
yeah, that's a lot. And I've played 0. I don't think that demo's up yet. It's up in every other country.
Like 7 or 8 Resident Evil
games. Australia, Japan is not here. And it looks like, to me, what I've heard about Resident Evil is it drifted from its horror roots and went to kind of an action horror and then full on action. This is very much horror. It's akin to PT in some ways, and they pulled the PT thing. They said demo's out tonight. Demo's still not out
I would like to play, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient. I decided that on the way home. I am absolutely horrified. Like I want to make this perfectly clear. I don't like horror at all. I hate horror games, horror movies. I despise it. I despise it. And the thought of strapping a PSVR to my face and playing through this entire game sounds like the worst thing I could ever do in my entire life. But I'm going to do it because I love Resident Evil.
Sounds like suffering. Don't torture yourself.
I hate it. It's going to give me nightmares. But
that's not kind of
why I'm doing it. It's
no, you don't. Don't scare yourself.
Then I want to scare myself, though. It sounds fun. I hate it.
Don't torture yourself.
I hate it, but I want to do this.
I'm excited. Outlast 2 is supposed to be VR, I think, too. Not PSVR, but I think it's
I think that's on Oculus, yeah. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to play the whole game in VR.
Yeah, so Resident Evil's making a comeback. The horror roots. Cool. I'm excited. I love a good horror game. It coming way sooner than I thought.
Yeah, that's what's nice.
I didn't write the date down.
21st, I think.
January 20th. It's in the
21st or 27th. It's one or the other.
To the calendar.
The one thing I wanted to mention, though, that I thought was strange is that it does take place after, I mean, obviously.
23rd? No, I'm sorry. 24th is a Tuesday? Or the 17th? It's the 24th.
Okay. So the one thing I want to mention is it's obviously Resident Evil 7. It seems like a complete relaunch, but it's not. It takes place after 6, which is still kind of weird to me. I didn't play 6, but I know what it dealt with, and it seems really strange to have. I just kind of wish they would reboot the entire franchise at this point. Now, I think they can do great, awesome things with Resident Evil 7, but I think a hard reboot with this style of gameplay would have been so much better, because the storyline to Resident Evil has just gotten out of control at this point, and they need to
I
bring
know
it
what that
back.
feels like.
They need to bring it back to its roots, where
A
it's
lot of
just
spin-offs, right?
zombies. I mean, not even the spin-offs.
But there are a
Just
lot
the
of them,
fact
though, right?
that, huh?
There are a lot of them, though, is what I was trying to say.
Spin-offs, there is a decent amount. But yeah, I
You've
mean,
just
there's
been
a
waiting
decent.
and waiting for the next numbered sequel
No, not
that
really.
goes back to the origins, the heart of it.
Get out of here with the Goofy and Donald garbage.
I'm telling you, I know what you feel.
No, you don't.
I
Because
do.
because I'm saying that the storyline got out of
Being
hand.
disappointed game
The,
after game.
the storyline got out of hand in and of itself. With it stopped being zombies at some point, started being like a parasite, and it just got really weird. Because the first game was just this is zombies, and then the ones after that, I mean, 2 it was still zombies. 3 there was the Nemesis, who was kind of a zombie tank of some sort. It just kind of lost itself eventually, and I would like to see it just come back to its roots of being a zombie
Spooky?
game. Yeah,
We'll
spooky
see.
zombie game with zombie dogs. That'd be cool.
No. Yeah, it's cool. The demo's out. Well, not now, but hopefully by the time you're listening to us, it's out everywhere else, just not the US. Next we hit the VR chunk of the show. And like we said earlier, they revealed the date, October 13th, 2016, PlayStation VR. And then they gave us a bunch of demos. Not live demos, thank God. Just trailer demo things. Do you have anything you wanted to say about Farpoint?
Nope.
Farpoint looked a little janky to me.
Yep. I don't really have. Yeah, I don't have much to say.
It was a space narrative kind of game with a gun. It didn't look very good. But Logan, what they showed next was so exciting. Your childhood dreams are coming true.
I get to fly an X-wing. I get to fly a big old X-wing, and that's going to be a ton of fun. And I hope that mission is not 3 minutes long.
It will be. Don't you worry.
I don't think it'll be that short.
I will buy Battlefront for that. If I have to buy Battlefront just to play that, I'll buy it.
Oh, what a shame. If you have to buy one of the great games of 2015 for probably a low price of $10.
It won't be $10. You know Disney.
I mean, it's like 20 right now.
You think so? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's like $20 right now.
Amazon.
It's on sale constantly. Quit Googling stuff in the middle of the show. Just trust me when I say things.
No, I don't trust you because I don't believe that the big Star Wars game is $20. It's $30. No, wait, I'm sorry. It's $40.
It's on sale nonstop. It's seriously on sale like twice a month.
Well, it's not $20, you liar.
Whatever. I said
it's a VR mission. I'll have to buy it to play it, I suppose. Actually, I could probably buy it used, play the thing, then just return it.
Why? I wouldn't. I'm gonna play this every night before I go to bed.
That sounds bad for your health. It's like a bedtime story.
It sounds wonderful. I want to live in this world.
Very cool. It's the closest we've ever gotten to being in the actual ships. It'll be cool.
Then we got the Batmans, which
Rocksteady said they were done.
Trying to figure it out. How's this gonna work? And I'm really excited for it. And we heard Mark
there's
Hamill's
no way we can
again.
do combat though, right?
Oh,
so
of course.
No, that would be completely jarring.
Oh, you mean like the combat from the Arkham games?
Yeah, like you're jumping around.
Oh
my gosh, we'd be sick.
No, but there's gonna be some sort of combat.
I think it's the detective mode.
Ugh.
I think it's that in the Batmobile.
I think you're probably right that it is detective.
It's that in the Batmobile, baby. And maybe some like gliding around Gotham. There's no way we're punching people though.
You can definitely throw a battering or two.
Yeah, like the stuff that makes you feel like Batman. So
it'll be cool regardless, even if it is just something.
And it comes out this year, October, like around the launch of the VR. They said October 2016, so they didn't commit to launch day. But I'm all in for more. Window. I'm all in for more Arkham.
When I saw that it was Rocksteady, I felt better. So that's
I mean, Mark Hamill doesn't just throw the Joker voice around either. So
that's another good point. Yeah.
when you hear that, I think that alone is the the faith you need. I'm curious if it's a post Arkham Knight game or if it's like in the middle of that narrative somewhere. Like I'm curious where it fits in that.
I'm wondering if there's a narrative to it at all. It could just be like
there's got to be something. There's got to be something.
A night in the life of Batman or something like that.
There's got to be something. Even if you're just chasing down the Penguin, there's got to be an end goal. There's got to be some story. It doesn't have to be this
I'm
grand.
just saying I don't know if they're going to clarify when it takes place necessarily. They could, but
yeah, you're right. They could just say, well, I mean, if the Joker is alive, then that's very clearly indicative of which game it takes place in.
Yeah, so
we'll see. It'll be very. I'm so excited. That is, God, that was so flipping cool.
That was fine. I'm not even going to focus on the next one. We saw a Final Fantasy 15 trailer. It looked cruddy. It was a weird trailer.
No.
VR
the trailer looked fine. The VR announcement was
the VR was trash. I'm not even going to dwell on that for 2 seconds. It was garbage, and it's everything I don't want VR to be.
It's the most Japanese VR thing I've seen to date.
Yeah,
do you know that girls have boobs, Logan? Did you know that?
No.
They put them right there in your face. They just planted them. Yeah. They're like, look at these. And then they're like, let's give you what you've always wanted in Final Fantasy, a gun. You've always wanted a gun, right? Here, gun.
True. Final Fantasy 8, you got that dude with the gun blade.
That looked awful. So bad. And then I leaned over to Kevin and said, if this was Kingdom Hearts 3, I'd be losing my mind right now. So I have to disclose that. So
just not enough Goofy or Donald Ducks. So
oh my gosh, could you imagine if I just saw Donald Duck right there in front of me and he just cast magic spells when I didn't need them? It'd be great.
Can you imagine? Yeah, and he's shooting up his Thundera just left and right for no reason.
Well, no, that actually would be useful. It's when he cures you after you use a potion. It's like, no, I just did this myself. Stop. Anyway, Japanese stuff.
So the next thing we got was one I called, if we're rubbing that in faces.
Yes, please do rub it in, because I thought it was COD-like, but it was actually Call of Duty itself.
It was Call of Duty. I recognized it. I recognized the space combat. That demo was super interesting to me. It looked
amazing.
Open. It looked open,
solid, tight
world or something. Like, I know the campaign's probably going to be way linear, but when it started off and you went to that star map and chose a planet to go to.
Flying the space thing?
It looked really cool. I was really impressed with it, honestly.
That was the tightest VR demo I've ever seen.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. I assume
the shooting looked buttery smooth.
Yeah, it looked really nice.
It looked very cool. My biggest question is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare VR a separate game, or when I buy the Legacy edition with Modern Warfare, does it come with that? Am I getting three Call of Duty experiences?
It's the same thing.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think it's the campaign?
Yeah.
The full campaign?
Yeah, I think, and if you just have PSVR, it'll be optimized for the headset. I don't think it's going to be any different.
I've never bought a Call of Duty game. I would buy a Call of Duty game if it ran like that. I'd buy that.
You've played them before though, haven't you?
My friend Josh in middle school and early high school, I mean, he's still my friend now, but he had Modern Warfare 2, and every Wednesday we'd play that game nonstop in his living room.
Have you ever played Modern Warfare 1?
Some multiplayer, never the campaign. No, well.
Okay, then you're one of those people who should maybe go all out and get the new.
Is 2 the one with 2 had the ghillie suits, right? 2 had the ghillie.
1 had the ghillie suits in it. It also had the part where you get new.
But 2 had ghillie suits too, right? Because 2 had the co-op.
I think at some point.
Spec Ops.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember Spec Ops being so good. Anyway, they showed off Modern Warfare Remastered. Looked very nice, very pretty.
Did look very nice. I wasn't excited for those games at all, but they really demoed well. I was surprised. I mean, they didn't show us Modern Warfare Remastered, but Infinite Warfare really demoed well. I was shocked because I think it was smart that they didn't tell us what the game was, because while I picked up
Yeah.
on it and we recognized it, if they would have come out and said Call of Duty right away, how many people would have wrote it off immediately? And I know
I was just like, man, this is a really
millions
sweet looking game.
I know millions of gamers buy it every year, but also millions of gamers laugh at it. It's kind of the joke of the industry. So if they would have said up front, here's Call of Duty, then a bunch of people would have judged it one way or the other. So I think it was smart that they just kind of let in with it and let people start to pick up what it was. So
it was a very awesome demo. It was very exciting. If it is the case where it's just a part of the experience, then I will buy Call of Duty, because that will be a VR game for me.
So, moving on from COD, Trash Bandicoot's coming back.
Whoa, so hard. No, calm
Next,
down.
we saw Kojima. He came out.
No, go back. Rein it back. Sean Layden walked out on this tropical beach, and his shadow was Crash Bandicoot, which was the coolest reveal I'd ever seen for an old game. And all he did was name drop. He's like, Crash 1, 2, and 3 are being remastered for PS4. Surprise, surprise. And then showed off Skylanders Imagineers footage of Crash. Cool. They're doing what they did with Spyro. They're just introducing it to a new generation. It's cool. That's fine. I'm very curious to see what these games look like in remastered form. I want to see some screenshots. I want to see it in motion. I'm also curious who's doing the port. Is it Bluepoint?
This has got to be more than a port. This is going to have to be akin.
No, this is a remaster. This is like, I mean, this would be
going to have to be akin to Ratchet and Clank. That's what I was going to say.
I'm curious who's doing it, though.
And can you make the games not play like garbage, please? Because
they will be true to.
Oh my gosh, they play.
They
so
have to.
Awful. Yeah, I mean, I know, but man, they play really, really poorly. If they still are having Crash run towards the screen instead of on some levels instead of running away, and I know the view switches up on certain levels, but still, I don't know. I don't think Crash has ever been a good game. I don't think the platforming has ever been good on Crash.
I like Crash 1. I never played 2 or 3.
It's way too floaty. I mean, it's like there's no precision to it. And when I played it during Uncharted 4, that totally reminded me of that. So, yeah, I
like it. It's fun.
We'll see what they look like. I'm interested, and I'm happy for the people out there who have been wanting this for
all I could think of was Tim Geddes flipping out.
Did you see the video of him?
No.
No, there's like a 30-second clip somebody spliced together of that when it happened, and he loses his mind. I mean, he really does. He writes it off because they come out and Greg says like it's gonna be the Skylanders thing, and he's like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. And then he says 1 through 3 will be remastered, and he literally jumps up from the table and grabs his microphone and starts like screaming. And he's like, oh my gosh, it's happening. It's really funny. You should look it up.
I'm very excited.
There's a bunch of videos of it in the Facebook group if you want to check it out afterwards.
I don't think I'm part of the Facebook group, but teach their own.
Missing out. Kojima came out to applause in the building and at my movie theater.
Said he was back.
He came out and said he was back, which is true, and which was put a smile on my face. And he showed off his new game, which we won't see till 2019.
Yeah, we won't see that game forever. I'm surprised we even saw anything moving at all, because he was just a few weeks ago going around the world looking for an engine to buy.
But we know him and Reedus have been hanging out a ton lately.
Yeah, so ever since PT.
Seeing Norman Reedus back in this game was not shocking to me, because he's been tweeting pictures of him and Norman Reedus hanging out nonstop over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's totally expected. I was just surprised to see anything in motion.
There was a naked Daryl naked Daryl in the trailer
with a little baby and some handcuffs and creepy things
and a fetus.
It is totally a Kojima game.
It's true, because it says at the top before the title, it says a Hideo Kojima game, so it's totally a Kojima game.
It's so flipping him, like this tone and the attitude and the vibe.
The cinematic qualities of it is definitely what makes it feel like
very
a Kojima
cool to
game.
see it all running in real time. Obviously, that's just the cutscenes, not really.
I'm wondering what the finished product is going to be and what the freaking heck this game is about, because I guarantee you
Did you say?
The finished game is going to probably have zero to do with what we
Did
saw.
did you say the name of the game?
It's called Death Stranding.
Which is, I keep wanting to say Death Standing, but
yeah. So who knows when we'll see this again? I bet we don't see this for 2 years.
No, I say we hear something again next year.
I don't know. We'll see how much they can get done in that time. I mean, still, they will have only been a studio for like.
I don't think. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think we get the game until.
It just depends on what engine they're going to use and things like that, because that's why Kojima went on his world tour after he signed with Sony, is he was checking out all of the devs' engines and he was trying to figure out which one he wanted to use, because I don't think he doesn't want to build one from the ground up right now, because he built the Fox engine, and then of course Konami's got a claim on that, which is very obnoxious. But so
all right,
we've gotten here.
Go again.
The most important part of the show, of the entire show, of all of E3, of video games for the past year, I would say. I'm going out on that limb.
That was the most hyperbolic statement in the history of the podcast.
This is better than Last of Us 2 could have been. This is better than anything Sony could have shown us. Anything.
Yep. Hyperbolic.
It's truth, I think.
Hyperbole.
We saw the freaking Spider-Man game, and it's not from Sucker Punch, it's from Insomniac, which is every bit as good to me. And I said earlier in the day that, and I think I may have said it a second ago, that nothing makes me happier on this planet than Star Wars. Star Wars is probably the number one thing on this planet that puts a smile on my face. Close second, Spider-Man. And I mean, Spider-Man is right there next to Star Wars. And knowing that we're getting Star Wars games coming out nonstop over the next 5 years, and now knowing that a game by Insomniac specifically built for the PS4, an exclusive Spider-Man game for the PS4 is getting made, and I gotta be honest, I think it's further along than we realize. I don't know if we're gonna get it.
Insomniac's been churning them out, man. They got into the
I think we get this within the next
VR game they did.
I think we get this sooner than we think, and I don't know if we get it within the next year. But
I mean, what is your definition of sooner than we think? Within a year is sooner than I think.
I feel like you're going to expect this to come out in 2018, aren't you? And I think we get this before
I say fall 2017, which is
about what I'm expecting.
That's not within a year.
I know it's not. I said I don't think we get it within a year, but I also think it's closer than we realize. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, I figured you specifically would say you thought this would come out closer to God of War, which you think is 2018.
Oh no, God of War is 2018, but Spider-Man's 2017.
Let me go on a small rant here though.
All right, I'll buckle up.
Insomniac. A couple things you got to do. You got to get the writing right. You got to get Peter right. You got to get Spidey right. You got to get the villains right, and you got to put in some good freaking solid villains. More than anything, most important thing about this game though is that you have to nail the freaking web slinging. Please, you have to nail that. And I think a couple different Spider-Man games at this point have. I haven't really played a Spider-Man game where the web slinging has felt bad, but you have to get that right. It has to feel good.
Spider-Man 2.
He has to feel agile. He has to feel quick. He has to feel good. And not even Spider-Man 2. I think Web of Shadows had really good web slinging in it.
Can't speak for that.
I really like the web slinging in that game. You just got to get that right. And then from that point, go nuts. Go freaking nuts. We know that Insomniac is the king of creating weapons in their games. Go nuts. Have a ball with this game. And I fully expect them to do so. It sounds like the game is being developed in the same engine as Sunset Overdrive, which is marvelous. That makes me ecstatic. This game's going to be great. This game's going to be phenomenal. This is a game I've waited for since Spider-Man 2. And I cannot wait. This is like one of my most anticipated games now by a flipping mile. Mass Effect.
I just hope they get it right. Insomniac is a surprise to me. It makes sense. I'm not like, after you say it, it's like, oh, That would work. But I seriously thought Sucker Punch would make this because Sucker Punch makes fantastic superhero games.
But I brought this up to my friend earlier. Now that it's not Sucker Punch, now that means Sucker Punch is now working on either a new Infamous, which would be fantastic, or a completely new IP, which would also be fantastic. So the fact that it wasn't Sucker Punch
It's second party, yeah.
is also a great thing for Sony.
Yeah. My one concern with Insomniac making this. Insomniac is known for their wild, diverse, crazy, bonkers weapons. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't read the comics. I've only seen the movies. Spider-Man really doesn't have wild gadgets or anything, right? He just has.
He does a bunch of stuff with his web shooters.
I mean, he invented his web. Yeah, if depending on what version you have, Spider-Man invents his web. So, there could be like a web bomb. I don't know, web bombs or something. But
web balls.
Yeah, like that's interesting. But
it'd be cool if they had a web shot, a web spray, a web ball. They could do a bunch of different things.
It's weird. It's just, I feel like that limits that weapon creativity. So I'm interested in the combat is like, it goes web slinging combat for me.
Yeah. Yeah. They got to nail. I want a good story too, though. I really do. And I think they'll do a fine job with it. I think they're obviously working.
I've never known Insomniac for storytelling. So
I trust them with. I think Resistance has actually got some good stories to it.
Never played Resistance, so that's fair. I never did touch those games.
I think I like the storytelling in those games pretty well.
It was too early in the cycle for me.
So yeah, I am. This is my jam. This is my game of the show. Just that 60-second trailer we got. That's doing it for me right there. So
yeah. No, dude, I'm stoked. It looks cool. I didn't see any iconic villains or anything.
Yeah, which is I'm fine with. Keep that stuff.
The only thing I saw maybe was like the Rhino-esque character.
It wasn't. Yeah,
it wasn't the Rhino, obviously, because he didn't look like a Rhino, but he was like this big brute that kind of bashed through the doors. It's cool. Let's go. Let's see it. Let's do it.
So, what was your favorite part of the show then? Favorite game?
Oh, I'm sorry, because then they closed with the Days.
Then they closed with Days Gone, and that was it.
The demo. I forgot that. God of War by far was my favorite part of that press conference. I mean, yeah, I think the most surprising was COD in VR.
Really?
How good that looked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was specifically in VR that we saw. It could have been gameplay from the actual game. So I don't know.
It was in the VR section.
It was in the VR section. I agree, but I don't know. We'll see. I thought it looked good as well, but
I'd ask you, but I think the answer is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Resident Evil is definitely up there. I'm very excited for Resident Evil. And then God of War is up there as well. But again, I'm not a huge fan of the series, but I think this one is looking to be exactly what I wanted them to do with the franchise, which is great. I'm all in on the next God of War. I've never bought a God of War at launch or anything like that, but I will be all over this one when it comes out. Spider-Man for sure is probably my favorite thing because I just couldn't believe that actually happened. I know we heard the rumors, but I didn't buy into them for half a second because I didn't think they had any credibility to them whatsoever. And in some respects they didn't because it wasn't Sucker Punch. But and then other than that though, I really did like their VR lineup, and I really feel good about buying that system in October now, or that unit in October now.
I do. So. VR, you and I both have tried it.
Sort of. I haven't tried anything good on it.
Okay, well, I tried the Vive and fell in love. That's when VR won me over. So I was comfortable with what I was buying to begin with. But now as a consumer, I know I'm gonna have games to play, not just tech demos. There's
Yeah,
I'm
that's the important thing.
and that just amped up that VR hype for me. I'm very, very excited. It's only a few months away. We've got July, August, September, and then October. So 4 months away until we're in VR land.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm gonna start paying off my PlayStation VR now. I think start doing it in
I've been slowly
increments.
chipping away at it. So
Do you
I'm
just save your money up, or I'm
yeah.
telling you, you can do the apply gift cards thing. I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
yeah, you showed me, so Amazon either didn't understand me or just straight up lied to me. But I don't have gift cards for it. I
Yeah, well,
ship
that's
my
what I'm gonna do to just make sure that the money I am setting aside for it does go directly to it. So
yeah, no, I have a box and I put money in it, and then
I
like a
got
week
you.
before it's supposed to ship, I just put it in the bank.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna start paying mine off. I'm getting really excited for it though. It's been a big day. I think this has been probably top to bottom, maybe the best single day of E3 I've seen in some time. I mean, as far as just strictly gaming
I
goes,
think Ubisoft brings it down, man.
I didn't think. I
Ubi
don't
brought
know.
it way down for me.
I didn't think they were showing
Like
those
if you're gonna
bags
say
or
just the
anything.
best day, if you're talking great press conferences, sure, but if you're talking the whole day, Ubi brought it way down for me. I think there's better
I didn't think
days.
they did too. They didn't do too bad. I don't know. I mean, it was what we expected, though. Again, from them, there was no real surprises. So, I mean, overall, they demoed the games that they have coming up, and they demoed them for each about 10, 15 minutes each. It seemed like they each spent some time on them. So, I don't know. We don't have to talk about them too much, but it definitely did drag. Um, so that's it for this episode, I guess, of our E3 2016 coverage. That is probably the last one of our breakout episodes like this. We'll be back
Well,
recording again tomorrow.
maybe you never know because
I'm not planning on doing a Nintendo.
listen to this though. Just
We
listen to
have, well, we do have a, remember, we have a whole news portion in our numbered episodes, and
I
we're
know,
going to
but
have to fill it
listen
with
to
something.
this. All of this today, everything top to bottom, everything we saw, fan flipping tastic. And we still have Zelda to go. There's still this big, awesome game we get to see tomorrow. That's wild. Like
I
this,
can't get hyped for it anymore. I really
I
can't.
don't get it because you're the bigger Zelda fan out of the
I
two of
am
us.
because I just want to see it. I'm over
I'm
wasting. It's the same reason I'm tired of seeing Kingdom Hearts. Like when it's close and when you have something to show,
it
which
is
tomorrow they
close.
do,
It is
then,
close.
then
It's
show me.
like 70 years away. Um
Yeah,
listen,
I'm getting tired.
I'm
I've put up with Zelda delays my whole life, and it's driving me
you know,
nuts.
I'm not gonna accept the all caps freak out I get tomorrow when you go, oh my
Oh,
god, this
I'll
game's
be freaking out
amazing.
about it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not like I'm not gonna lay down in bed tonight and be like, "Oh, Zelda in the morning." I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Don't get me
No,
wrong, but
no,
I'm
you're no
also just
Zelda fan. You'd be excited for tomorrow. You'd be
I'm
flipping
I,
out right now.
I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm not losing my marbles or anything. It's
You're
also getting close to 2 in the morning. I'm kind of losing my edge here, especially since I only slept like 4 hours last night.
don't worry, we get to do it again. 4 hours.
Yeah, so tomorrow I think we're just probably gonna end up recording one episode. I can't see us recording two. I personally can't. I think we'll talk about Zelda in the
You
first half of
never flipping know.
I
It
think
could
we'll
be
talk
so
about
big
Zelda.
and so amazing.
I think you're set. And see, this is the thing too. I'm tempering my expectations greatly because Nintendo has done nothing but break my heart for like 3 years now.
I
So
don't get how they break your heart because yeah, they suck right now, but they keep putting out fantastic games. So I really don't know why they breaking your heart. Are you playing their games?
they're not putting out great games though. They've put
They're
out
sitting here on my shelf. They're on my Wii
name
U.
them. Name them.
We've got Smash Brothers,
Okay.
Wind Waker
That
HD,
was 2 years ago.
Twilight Princess HD.
Okay, remakes. But the good games nonetheless, but remakes of games I played.
Game.
They're
We've
games I played
got
10 years ago.
Mario Maker, World, Splatoon. On 3DS, there was Fire Emblem. Rhythm Heaven's supposed to come out. You've got your Pokemon games, which have been great. they're putting out good games. You can't say they're putting out bad games. Or I should say they haven't put out good games. They've put out fantastic games this generation. They're just not selling their system with their tacky tablet.
That's the thing. That tablet drags that tablet drags the gaming experience down for me. It really does. I don't want to play like that. And I've got a pro controller. I've got a pro controller, and I do use it when I can. But
you can't say they haven't put out great games. You can't.
I mean, I'd say there's like 5 good ones, and
I just named like close to 10. And that's not even me looking at my 3DS or Wii U library digitally.
I could name like 25 good PlayStation 4 games in this console lifecycle already.
That are exclusive?
If we count indies, possibly getting close.
Maybe. Severed's coming to Wii U and 3DS.
That's interesting. That'll be good.
They announced that today.
That'll actually work well on Wii U.
Because it's weird though, because I see it clearly working on Wii U because the whole game could just be on the gamepad, but it's weird on 3DS, I think, because they're separate.
Yeah. I mean, again, E3, Nintendo, I haven't denied that they aren't putting out solid games. Mario Maker's great. 3D World was great. Splatoon, it's not a game for me, but I'm sure people like it.
It's a fantastic game.
Smash was fine. I mean, there's like 3 or 4
Smash
good.
is so tight.
Pikmin was good. I mean, there's some solid games on the Wii U, but as a whole, like, this console generation's been a massive letdown, and I just am tired of holding out hope that they're going to turn it around. And so while I am excited to see Zelda tomorrow, I'm ready for the Wii U to just get a bullet to the head and let's start over.
Dude, I'm ready for the NX. I'm not defending the system.
Man, we heard it. We heard another game today that's coming to the NX. We got another game announced for the NX, even though we don't know what the dang system.
Do you know that means motion controls?
I don't care anymore.
That's what it means. If Just Dance is on a system, you know there's some form of motion.
Well, maybe, because they came out with that app that you could use in conjunction with most of them, I think. So
that's fair. Maybe our phones hook up with our NX.
Yeah. So I don't know. Let's end this one. We're getting into the weeds with Nintendo when this was about Sony.
Nintendo hype. Oh my gosh. I wake up tomorrow and there's Zelda. Oh.
I wish I could be hyped. I don't know. They've let me down for like 5 straight years.
Just let your heart open up just a little bit. Did you play Link Between Worlds?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
All right, so it hasn't been 5 years since a great Zelda game for you.
It's been 5 years of awful E3s, 5 years of really bad E3s, and yeah, so
but not bad games. So
I never said that, and I told you I'm tempering my expectations because I know they never shell out at E3.
Just join me. Just jump on the train.
Nope. It's too painful. I hate it every year.
Ready? Then I don't want to hear any ounce of excitement or hype until the end of it. I don't want to hear anything out of you. Silence.
That's fine.
I don't want to hear squat until it's over.
That's fine, because I know the game we see tomorrow isn't coming for freaking who knows when.
March.
Because no, they never said that. They never once said that.
I will confirm this.
I've looked this up the other day, and this is something I was going to bring up on our next portion. Something I wanted to see if they touched on tomorrow. They said it's an NX game, and then everybody assumed that means it's coming out in March, but they never said it's a launch game once. So who the freak knows when we're getting this? And it's been too long. I'm just very skeptical. We'll see what it turns out like tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing it, but we'll see what it turns.
Forbes quote of the day. Just show me the article. Forbes.
I'm going to close while you look that up for yourself. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Millennial Gaming Speak. We appreciate it. I think this, like I said, will probably be our last one-off episode if I had to take a guess. But if anything changes, check your podcast feed or check our YouTube channel at Millennial Gaming Speak.
He'll join me on the train and we'll do a full Zelda episode. It'll be great.
I don't know. We still got time to kill in our main episode. I don't know what we're going to talk about if we don't talk about anything there.
We've got our big list. We don't need news. Need E3's news.
So anyway, Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. We're on Twitter. The show's at MGS Podcast. You can follow us there. You can follow Max at Max the White. You can follow myself, Logan, at Moreman12. You can email us at mgspodcast@gmail.com. If you have any comments, concerns, or questions for the show, we would love to read them on the air. And we would love to hear from you. Let us know what you think about Zelda tomorrow. Let us know if you think E3 has been a big letdown on Nintendo's part for the past few years. Please email us, let us know, or hit us up on those Twitter accounts that I mentioned. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. We would be forever grateful to you for doing that thing. And I think that's about it.
Okay. Just for clarity for the listener, Nintendo's official tweet: the new Legend of Zelda will be the focus of E3 2016, and it will launch simultaneously on both Wii U and NX in 2017. So the soonest it could come is March.
And now you know why I'm still very skeptical.
I say it's a launch.
Doesn't that give you a gross feeling in the pit of your stomach now, though, knowing how Nintendo's done us over for the past few years?
No, because
I'm okay.
I think Nintendo looks at the Wii launch of Twilight Princess and they're like, "We did this before."
I think they do the same thing as well, but at the same time, does it surprise me if it gets pushed? No. So I just don't take anything they say at this point. I don't listen to anything they say. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm not expecting much outside of Zelda. I know you've got predictions for other things, but I don't.
No, I don't. Remember, all my predictions were Zelda predictions.
I thought you brought up like Amiibo and things like that.
Yeah, Zelda Amiibo.
Much like that. So anyway, let's close out this show. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. Spider-Man thanks you so much, and he's going to watch over Queens, and hopefully we'll play that game real soon. Anyway, thanks for listening to this Sony episode, even though I don't know why Max keeps saying Zelda. Goodbye, everybody.
Hype train.